The vagus nerve is mentioned a lot in the Wim Hof method, and it's also mentioned a lot or used a lot in yoga. I am an advocate of both of these practices, and so it's interesting to know why exactly it's been featured so heavily for thousands of years in yoga. And that is also where Wim got a lot of his techniques from those ancient practices of tumo and things like that, where the nerves are stimulated or calmed, so you start to control the actions in your body. And in this short video, I'm going to give you 3 vagus nerve hacks to calm or stimulate or to literally just promote health. So what exactly is the vagus nerves? So central vagus nerves are important because they have 2 functions. Sensory, so somatic, so you can feel your skin and your muscles, and also visceral, so you can feel the organs and bodily functions. But they also have a motor function, so they help you with swallowing, with the pharynx and the larynx, and also your digestive, and they also stimulate heart muscle. So it's a really important vital function. It also goes from the brainstem down into the colon, so it's the longest cranial nerve in the body. So it's very, very important, and this is why I'm going to give you some hacks to work with it, and actually, instead of it being an autonomic reaction, you can control it. The first one we're going to do is alternate nostril breathing. The alternate nostril breathing calms the ida and the pingula, or balances the ida and the pingula, which are 2 meridians in the body. But it directly balances the vagal nerves, which are actually called by Romans the wandering nerves, because it's not a nerve, they actually branch out throughout the body. So, alternate nostril breathing, when practiced after or before yoga, brings the body back into alignment and back into balance. And it's a beautiful sort of precursor to meditation. And yogis have used this for a long, long time to do just that. Alternate nostril breathing, you take your right hand, you cover your right nostril with your thumb, and you breathe in through the left nostril. Cover your left nostril and breathe out through your right. Breathe in through your right. Cover the right nostril, breathe out through your left. Breathe in through your left. Cover it, breathe out through your right. And so on. And if you do that for about 5 minutes, I'd say at least 10 breaths each side, you will gain the benefit of balancing out your ida and pingula. So your the fight or flight side of your body and the rest and digest side of your body. You will balance those out perfectly and actually just calm that vagal nerve. So alternate nostril breathing I would probably use before or after yoga, or I do use it then, and I find it calms and resets me, and then it always helps with a really good night's sleep as well. Actually, it's a really nice technique to use. The second technique that I'm going to tell you is one that I use personally when I'm in cold water, so either an ice bath or a shower. And it's also one that I use when I'm in horse stance, when I'm trying to let my body warm naturally, following an ice bath or a shower. So we'll try that one together next. Vagus nerve breathing hack number 2 is one that I use in cold water, and then following cold water when I'm in the horse stance. I might do it for like 3 to 5 minutes in the horse stance, and I do it throughout the shower. And it keeps you calm. It warms concentrating on your breath usually warms your body anyway. It has a heating effect. That was discovered by Buddhist monks who were scantily clad on mountains. By controlling your breathing consciously, you warm your body. So, the breathing technique is this. You breathe in for 3 through the nose, and then you breathe out for 6 through the nose. In for 3, out for 6. Very, very simple. It's quite common for people when they get out of their cold bath or cold water or the shower to just grab a towel and immediately try and get warmed up quickly. But if you do this breathing method and you stand in horse stance, so you're using the muscles in your body, you start to heat internally, and that will work externally. And so that vagus nerve, the vagus nerve breathing, the nerves will start to calm, but they'll also start to warm you. So those branches of the nerves really work for you, and you're controlling what happens in your body by heating it internally, which will have an external effect. So just once again, vagus nerve breathing in the cold, in for 3 through the nose and out for 6. Just slow nose breathing into the diaphragm though. Breathe down into the stomach for 3 and then out for 6. It's very, very simple, very easy. Make sure they are full body breaths, because that we want to stimulate that nerve right down to the base, right up into the head. So in for 3, out for 6. Give it a try. So I would do that, as I say, in the shower or ice bath, and then following that I would do horse stance for 3 to 5 minutes and do it during that time. And by the time you're finished, you will feel so good and so relaxed. Your cardiovascular system will be beating and working like it's never worked before. Your digestive system will be healthy and the smooth muscle will be worked out. It's amazing. So just give that a try. The next one we're going to look at is more for a physical and a psychological effect. There's a doctor who has written a book just literally about the vagus nerves, and it's quite a fascinating read. But without going into too much detail, he came up with a thing called the basic vagal nerve exercise, and it is just that. It's really basic. So Dr. Stanley Rosenberg wrote a book and studied the vagus nerves for much of his career. And he realised that the ventral vagus nerve in particular has a great impact on our physical and psychological health. He worked with people with autism and all kinds of like neurological disorders and psychological disorders and physical disorders. And he, with very, very, very simple exercises, had a huge impact. It to the point where a lot of his work was dismissed because it was just too simple. There was no medication required. It was just simple exercises. So I'm going to show you the basic ventral vagus nerve exercise right now. When I say it's basic, it really is. So to do this, you'd actually lie down, but I'm obviously not going to do that because I won't be able to see you. You won't be able to see me. You lie down and you put your hands at the back of your head, lying down on the floor, at the base of your occipital ridge. The back of your head, where your skull goes into your neck. And at the back of your occipital ridge there, you have 8 optical nerves, which directly stimulate the ventral vagus nerve. So lying very still with your hands behind your head, look up to the ceiling, and for 60 seconds, move your eyes and hold them. Try not to blink too much to the left for 60 seconds. And then look to the right without moving your head. And when you're actually lying on the floor doing this, with the hands pressing into the back of the occipital ridge there, you can actually feel the muscles that are causing that motion to work. And that very, very basic exercise stimulates and relieves and decongests the ventral vagus nerve, having a huge impact on your health, physically and psychologically. So give it a go. And there we go. So there are 3 very, very simple biohacks that can be used to work with one of our most important body systems, the central vagus nerve. If you are interested in the Wim Hof method, or taking up yoga, or the Stanley Rosenberg book, I will put links to those below. The Wim Hof website in particular has thousands of testimonials of people that use it, and have put autonomic nervous system conditions, so like autoimmune conditions, they've put them into remission and they can manage them. So I would highly recommend yoga and the Wim Hof method. And even if you don't read Stanley Rosenberg's book, try that basic exercise because it's fab.